This meeting is being recorded.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 4 a.m. podcast. It's me, Wilson. We got Terry, Michael with his photo in this bitch because he doesn't want to show his face no more. And we back. I'm back in my crib. I'm back in South Florida. Terry still in the Orlando. And Michael, where are you even, Michael? I know you're in Broward, but
he's at home.
South Florida.
I'm still home, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just trying to figure out what college I'm going to.
Nigga still a free agent, cuz. What the
bro, there's hella free agents right now, though.
Bro, what is the decision process right now, my nigga?
All right, bro. Listen, bro. Free agency been pretty lit. I've actually been offered to go to a couple colleges, but it's just the money's right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The money is all. Well, I'm not saying it's the most important thing, but it's big, you know, because my mama don't really got money to always be paying for
his financial security slider all the way 100. Man.
Facts. I need to be right. I will run track for any program. I will do. I'll even hop on football, but whatever you need me to do, baseball, I'll learn that. Whatever you need me to do, if you just give me the funds, I'm straight. You know, I can get it done. Right now, most likely it's looking like FIU or UCF. And that's it, you know what I'm saying? But hey, speaking of potential free agents, well, potential with a major asterisk. We got my well, not my dog, but more Wilson's dog, Aaron Rodgers. He ain't free agent, but it seems like he is because it's a massive sweepstakes for him right now.
Sadly,
we don't know if the Packers are going to re-sign him. It seems that they're obviously trying everything in power to keep him. They even got Usain Bolt to come out there and plead for this man to stay. But what are y'all thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
Bro, all I see is I go on Instagram, click on this man's story, and I see a photo from The Last Dance. I'm like, oh, Devontae Adams right after. Same photo. I'm like, oh. Go to the chat. Everyone's like, oh, Wilson's not gonna like this one. I'm like, oh. Hey, man. Aaron Rodgers gave me a lot of good memories growing up, man. I know Terry remembers. I have like this one video from like our one old kick chat where I watched him complete the Hail Mary against Arizona, and like I damn near lost my mind. And it was like back in like our 1-bedroom apartment. So like I was not allowed to make any noise because I like literally I slept in the living room, and like my parents' room was the wall behind the TV. So he just completes the throw and then the catch happens. I'm like, and I'm just like spazzing all over the place.
Nick
like,
was screaming in lowercase.
Oh man, that shit was crazy. Not Terry, but Mario was like right next to me, like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like it's like 11 o'clock at night or some shit. Oh my god. But hey, if Aaron, you know, if they're not treating him right in Green Bay, then I completely understand. You got to do what you got to do. He's aging. He probably wants to win it all. I mean, he's come so close, come up short so many damn times. It's like, it really sucked. Oh, this nigga just changed his photo mid what?
I can't even see that, bro.
Oh my god. But nah, I've seen this man come up close too many times when they lost to Atlanta. And then now they just lost to, who did they just lose to?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah. So it's hard in the NFC.
Atlanta lost. I ain't gonna lie. He stood no chance. That Atlanta team
that Atlanta team was on fire.
They were so good. He didn't really stand much of a chance. And he just barely got past the division round anyway in the first place.
That Cowboys game was ridiculous. If it was
but
what's weird is just like, it's kind of weird because both sides are kind of wrong, but kind of right at the same time. It's like with Aaron Rodgers, like people say like he doesn't have enough help. This is that and that, but like for the last 2 seasons, the Packers, although they're not the most active team in free agency, they went and tried to do their damnness to get Aaron Rodgers some resemblance of help. Because like back like at least 5 years ago, Packers were fucking grease fire terrible. It was just Aaron Rodgers. But like
when they went and got a little too late though, like in
you feel it, that's true. But like when you go and get the Smith brothers who went and wreaked havoc that one season, so their defense got an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? They went and got a young guys like Kenny Clark, Jair Alexander, Darnell Savage up the top. You know what I'm saying? They went and got offensively. Yeah, they really didn't do much to help them. Devontae just came into fruition.
It's too late. And then when you put it in the perspective of who he's matching up against in the playoffs. Like they know that they can get to the playoffs, and then the matchups that they're gonna see, and they're not really fully prepared for it. You feel me?
And that's very true.
Like interjecting, because I was gonna say that like while they've done all that, mostly the addition they made is through the draft. And there's a difference between being like, and they are pretty good or they're darn good at the draft, if I'm being honest, but they just don't really go like into free agency like that to try and really get him. Maybe like when we talk about help, like let's be honest, like they never even thought when they drafted Adevnture that he would even be such a great receiver.
Yeah.
I won't say they got lucky because it does take a good amount of scouting. Every team gets the luck when in drafts from time to time, but they have sort of just been able to do well with the draft picks, which is good, and it's a good like upper hand like management plan. But also one of the biggest problems is that they never talked to Aaron Rodgers about anything and would put his ideas out there to be like, hey, maybe go for this guy, and they just wouldn't even acknowledge him or wouldn't really care about that. While you look at other teams, Tom Brady gets acknowledged on probably what the top Bucks are going to do defensively, let alone offensively. Same with Drew Brees. Same with even like quarterbacks that aren't even to the level of Aaron Rodgers. Rookie quarterbacks being asked, like the Dolphins asked Tua off rip, what receivers would you like in this draft? Chargers asked Justin Herbert, what additions would you like? Rookie quarterbacks that have been in the league already for 1 year and their management are already asking them or doing things that they haven't. Package manager just doesn't do it. Aaron Rodgers, sort of neglecting him. And I'm sure he sees that because I'm sure he talks to other quarterbacks just around the league, and he felt some type of way about it. And I would too. You know, I carried a team for so long, for so many years, and it just seems as if like they just ignore all your like additions trying to like help the team or who you would think would be good, and they just either ignore it and they just don't get help really on the offensive side of the ball like that through free agency. And that I can understand.
That's trash. It's just trash. I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers.
Like you never want to neglect your franchise quarterback. Especially the nail in the coffin was that Jordan Love draft. That pick in the first round, that did it. That's when I felt like Aaron was like, "Yep, all right, I guess I'll go fuck myself." You feel me?
Because like Aaron isn't like you can't like Aaron is such a good quarterback that you can't do that type of shit to him. Like I'd feel some type of way too. Like we just know how talented Aaron is. He deserves more than one ring.
But I feel as though, although like the Packers have to take the brunt of the blame for this whole situation where it's at, I feel like Aaron Rodgers, although it's not like Aaron Rodgers like 50-50, it's definitely not that. The Packers are like 80% to blame. But I feel like a lot of Aaron Rodgers' success, especially as of recent, has to fall on some of his shoulders too, because like he had the MVP season. Don't get me wrong. Regular season, I'm not knocking Aaron Rodgers at all. That I still can't get over that Tampa Bay game because defense played out of its mind and then put up 26 points. It's like I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers sold the game, but there's certain things where like, my nigga, you're Aaron Rodgers. You have to be able to deliver at home when your defense gives you 3 turnovers and you feel me? Like there's still something left to be desired by Aaron Rodgers' playoff performance. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, but I look at that and I said the Bucks defense, especially in the playoffs, were the best defense in the league, and it wasn't even that close. Not only that, but like the Bucks defense suffocated. You saw what they did to the Chiefs. They knew about the Packers. If I'm being honest, the Bucks defense was basically built damn near for the Packers and the Chiefs. The biggest problems the Bucks had was Drew Brees with multiple broken ribs and a quarterback that they just haven't seen before in their life at Washington. And that was basically their biggest challenges because everything else they were more built for. They knew exactly who Aaron Rodgers' best targets were on the Packers. They knew, obviously, same with the Chiefs, but the defense was definitely built to face the Packers because they knew it was going to most likely be the Packers in the championship game. And then the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And they did their job phenomenally. And while I will definitely say like he left some things on the table, I don't think it was clear that like I don't know how many quarterbacks or what quarterback is even getting that many points on the Bucks defense, especially when they know about you. In that point in the season, it didn't seem like the Bucks how even how the game went down to like that last field goal, go for it decision. I still give Aaron props for that, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying. Like he maybe had left something out there, but I look at the Bucks defense and I say like, there's only like how much can you possibly truly do when they know about your number one option, and then some of your other options aren't doing as well as you like them to be in that game. And then like you have on the Packers defense that was good, but then they had a glaring problem with one of the defensive backs, so they just completely ignore Jair and they go for basically Wilson's worst enemy right now.
Yeah,
I think he can attest to that.
Kevin King.
Fuck Kevin King. But like, yeah, that just goes to like, it seems that this year, just in sports, basketball and football specifically speaking, that defense just wins championships. Like that's just what really happened. Like both Bucks teams were just defensive monsters. You can't really do anything.
It's always been like that.
Yeah. You just have to see like that one juggernaut team, like where their offense is just so cracked that defense doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Aaron Rodgers was really trying to do. But I mean, we obviously have a better defense, Green Bay, but it was kind of just new, especially in most recent years, and it wasn't enough to stop Tom Brady's fucking Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette. Like it was just
Chris God.
Like fucking Antonio Brown, like we need to talk about how OD Tom Brady's offense
I was saying from the longest TB12's offense was ridiculous when Antonio Brown was their fourth option at receiver.
Literally fourth.
And like, look, a lot of people say defensive championships. That's true, but an offense that you don't know about, in my opinion, is way more deadly than like an elite defense. Obviously, now when you know about that and you have counters to it, it's different. But it's considering how the Bucks got all these pretty much mercenaries on their team. Year one, people didn't even know how to the Bucks didn't even know how to fully use themselves until late into the season, and then it went to clicking. And it's very hard to stop that offense because Tom, he doesn't even have to have immaculate arm strength. He doesn't even have, because he has ridiculous receivers. He has great tight ends. He has two really good running backs and a phenomenal line with a fantastic defense. This isn't take away from Tom Brady.
Just made a super team.
There's no holes in that team. Not a single
super team, man.
Tom knew what he was doing when he went to Tampa. Trust me.
That team goes 30 deep. Their subs are fucking good. Come on now.
Yeah,
Jesus
like
Christ.
Their backups could start on some like
yes.
So it's,
Michael does bring up a good point. Like when you create a super team like that, like that season and that playoff run, like just no one really has an answer because it's just so brand new. Like when KD went to the Warriors, it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do?
We've never seen this, and these niggas dropping 150. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, Brian.
Yeah,
like, slander LeBron. Shaking my head. Let me stop.
Yeah,
you LeBron niggas, bro.
No, let's switch the whole conversation to LeBron.
About that nigga.
I mean, LeBron has been like the best player for like a long time, but like the question now is LeBron now the best player in the league because we got a nice young talent in Giannis who just got his first championship, a big dub. I want to say a big congratulations to the Bucks. We even haven't talked about the finals, so let's get straight into that. Big congrats to the Giannis.
Yeah, congrats to Giannis, bro. That man put greatness on my goddamn screen. Like literally every single time there was an opportunity for a chase down block, he got the block. Like, and that's hard to do. Like we can see a lot of basketball games where it's like, dang, like if he was just like, if he had the LeBron athleticism, he could have maybe like got that defensive stop and it would be a different game. But like in like the NBA finals, like I don't think we're acknowledging how crazy it was to see this man every single time on a hyper-extended knee erase a shot. And we're just like, oh, that's
Giannis type stamina too. He did that shit all throughout the fucking game, bro. Literally from
playing
first
like 40 minutes or some shit.
Like it was ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, that's facts. The Giannis block, that was a great block. Not only to watch live, but just to rewatch in general. And then the dunk he had, the alley dunk that he had.
Oh my, that shit was disgusting.
Those are two moments I like. Yeah, no. Every single, you can say best player in the world or like Finals MVP or whatever has that or their true moment in that series, and those two moments are highlights that will be replayed for a long time, like a long time.
My question is though
Mhm.
about the Bucks. Like, do we consider that a super team?
No.
No.
Because like I feel like the only reason we're not considering it a super team, like by definition, is a super team like, oh, like a player like the caliber of KD has to join like a playoff
Similar
because
type of player.
because I think a super team is just a collection of just crack players. Like
that's just a really good team.
like it's a super
Yeah.
team. Like if you like the moment they added Drew, it was like, yeah, that's busted. Like they need to win it all because people that
But
like watch a lot of basketball know how good Drew Holiday
the
is.
The term
like,
super team would mean that like multiple stars and big names are on the same team. That's what that's where it came from. You feel me? Like the Miamis, the Golden States, you know what I'm saying? But when it's a really good, well-constructed team, it's a really good team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a super team because like the inconsistencies of like Middleton and even the inconsistency of Holiday on offense was probably one of the biggest question marks going into like the series, just into the playoffs in general. While Holiday is really good, especially on defense,
it just makes up for it, bro. That shit's clean.
He's not like a star. He's not like a superstar because like while he's good on defense, we've seen like what happens when it comes against like true like Curry. When Holiday had that really great series, they moved on to play the Golden State Warriors. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's gonna lock up Curry, this and that." Curry turned him into a Swiss sandwich, like for multiple
that's
games.
Curry, like what?
So, that's the difference for me for like a super team and just a really good team. Like a super team consists of like Curry, Clay, KD, or like how like the Nets were supposed to be. Even though I knew that shit wasn't going to last because I know how injuries go, and also I know Harden a failure. But we'll move on from there.
I mean, Harden's terrible. I don't care. He's fucking terrible.
He's really a regular season player. Like I get it. He can facilitate the ball. You just muted yourself.
The cards muted myself. Hold on.
I'm dead. Like he's a good facilitator or whatever, but
oh yeah, no, Harden's great. But like I've watched this man sort of melt too much in the playoffs, and also like it's not just that, but like I had a feeling that unfortunately that these guys are going to get injured because they load manage so much, and it seems as if their bodies can't handle a full season. And I just had a feeling that like someone is going to get injured and they're going to lose. And unfortunately, that is what happened. And I feel as if that's probably what's going to happen again because nowadays I actually think that load managing is doing more harm than good because it seems if everyone who load manages, it just ends up getting injured anyway. Because it seems if their body can't handle the full season. So maybe the load managing should cease because honestly, I don't know how much it's helping.
Load management, it doesn't work. If LeBron's not doing it, if you don't see Giannis doing it, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like Kawhi got injured, James Harden got injured, Kyrie
basically
got
everyone
injured.
who load managed,
everyone that load management really got injured.
Ended up getting injured.
And the thing about the super, like creating a super team like the Nets, it really is a championship or bust. After what we saw in Golden State, like they just won essentially every year that they were together besides when KD went down with his Achilles and the Toronto one. But now that they folded with Kyrie out, Harden out, and then KD just carrying by himself, like KD's obviously going to stay, but are they going to win it again next year? Nah, because the league got a whole year to make adjustments and kind of figure out what the Nets team is really all about.
I feel the difference between this is that like this super team is not like the Heat. Because the Heat had, even though Wade was still going out with his knees and obviously LeBron was coming into form, they still made the finals every year they were together, whether they won or not. They obviously lost to Dallas and lost to the Spurs. Dallas was a failure on LeBron's part, and he still holds that to this day. And the Spurs are just an underrated ass team because they had so many good pieces and players. People just love to gloss over, but. The Spurs themselves are damn.
They're a dynasty, bro.
A super team of underrated ass people. But like you saw how the Heat mopped before OKC, and at the time people thought OKC could have been like a super team. So the Nets are not them. I don't even know if they are that same OKC team that lost to the Heat, to be honest. They're obviously not the Warriors. The Warriors were just ridiculous when KD had joined them, and like they aren't the team that I think is if like, all right, the league sees them, you know, okay, they make adjustments and still doesn't. Because I remember league saw the Heat 2011. They said, all right, now we know about them, and then the Heat just said, okay, and then just wiped the floor. Okay, see, and moved on, and then one came against the Spurs, won, and unfortunately lost next year. But that was more the Spurs making adjustments more than the league. They still went right back to the finals because they had three outstanding players. Three outstanding players that showed up in the playoffs. The Nets have three good players, and two of them probably can pop off in the playoffs.
One is never available because of injuries, and the other one is garbage with a beard.
Facts. Nah, the Nets. KD's legacy obviously didn't take a hit because we all know who KD is. That nigga is a reaper, but that nigga was one toe away from making sure that
he was
knocking the Bucks off.
Yeah, but like Kyrie, I feel like he's kind of taking a hit. Like the fact that Steph Curry is by himself and he was able to play the entire season. Well, not the entire season, but he played the majority of the season. He was fighting for his life in the play-in tournament against LeBron, but Wiggins was selling their shit. And like Kyrie Irving is over here with like plastic bones and shit. It's like, bro. Hey, I'm just I don't feel like they working as hard as other people in the league.
Some hits. I feel as though Kyrie's taking some hits with his stunt with the Celtics, and then now with the Nets, it seems as if like I don't know. It seems Kyrie maybe taking hits, but like I think the one that's most taking hits is definitely James Harden, because before he was getting compared, it's like, oh, James Harden is clearly better than Dwayne Wade.
Greatest scorer of all time.
I never even thought that was true, even when we had the Harden hype. And then as the years have continued down, he's trickled down and not done so in the playoffs. Then he had a whole fiasco where it seems as if he acted to be fat to get off of Houston. Went to Boston. Brooklyn. Who played pretty well, as usual during the regular season, and then playoffs. Unfortunately, man got hurt. But then also that comes with the load managing, because they were all clearly load managing throughout the season. Random out of nowhere injuries, quote unquote, throughout the season, load managing. And then they got to the point where they unfortunately had to just rely on Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant almost willed them through, but his combat boots were just too big. And then his foot was on the line. And because I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was a 3 until the ref said 2. And I was like, damn.
A toe.
Damn.
If that nigga was a size 11 and a half, that's a fucking 3.
But what's crazy though is like, in my opinion, if they don't pick up James Harden, it's a completely different story. Like I feel like they would have been fine without James Harden. Like I feel like
absolutely.
Especially adding him in the middle of the season, like we've never seen that before. Like that was just so random. It was like, okay, like y'all just have too much pull. Like it's like obvious, like y'all want to win it all. Like god dang. Like you couldn't make it easier.
And I was definitely one of the people who's like, when the rumor mill was going off, like, oh, James Harden's gonna go to the Nets, I'm like, they shouldn't do this trade at all because it's just dumb. You're gonna sell off your depth, sell off your size for another star who's known to be inconsistent in the playoffs. For what? Like it doesn't guarantee you a ring anyways, because James Harden doesn't fucking play defense besides the passing lanes. What the fuck? What are you gonna? What does that do for you? You know what I'm saying? That's just a blockbuster trade. You won the headlines. Good job. No ring. Wow. Fucking
I'll take blame because I definitely did say that. Like they can play together, and like they obviously like when they shared the court together, they could play together. But in terms of like winning it all, like I don't think that big 3.
I think as a big 3, you need to play an entire season together. And because they were always, one of them was out or someone decided it's time to go manage this game, or even Kyrie had to go away for like personal reasons, all of that, like coming together to like, they just couldn't really get it done really. They just didn't even, they traded away Harden. They lost a lot of depth. They said, okay, these 3 are going to carry us. And then those first couple games, they realized we have absolutely zero defense. And like I remember they played against the Wizards, the same Wizards team who at that point could not, like they couldn't even guard a parked car.
Bro. I
And
made
they
an
lost.
episode on that shit. That shit was funny.
So
They let
funny,
Russell
bro.
Westbrook hit a dagger 3 and they shit, bro. I'm not
Didn't
gonna.
that game? Didn't both teams hit like 150 that game, bro?
Yeah, it went to
Yeah, it was
like
ridiculous.
147.
It was
Like,
piss poor. Jesus Christ. A casual's dream, but man, oh god.
and then
That's
like all that happened, and I just think they had enough time to really gel together, and then obviously
Yeah.
injuries happen and things like that, and it just eventually. And I honestly feel as if the I feel as if the three of them were in this series together, they may have even lost. I think they did better with just Kevin Durant really commanding the show by himself more than like maybe the three of them, because you never know how like everyone says like, oh, we know who the final shot is gonna go down to. But then there are those situations in the playoffs now where like legacies are on the line, and then arguments start happening. It's a little bit easier in my opinion in the regular season than like in the playoffs. So
one of the good moves that they did make that I wanted to see like actually happen in the playoff setting was LaMarcus Aldridge, but then he had the heart problem, and I was like, dang, because he would have been really big for them, bro. Like he has the mid range, he has the
he
post,
was
like
their big.
yeah, like he would have been really good, but then they had to rely on Blake Griffin. Oh shit.
Yeah, the Blake Griffin assignment. Yeah, while it was like made for some really cool highlights, and you know, while it was cool
his behind the back pass, the best pass of the season, the best play of the season.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I thought
Anthony Edwards dunk.
They didn't even get a conference finals trophy out
baptism.
Anthony Edwards dunk, man.
That should have been player of the year. I don't care.
Yeah,
Asian lives do matter, my guy. Like that should have been player of the year. Like that was, if there was fans there, there would even be an arena after that. The whole place.
The arena would have been broke. The arena would have been done. It's heaven.
Shit. Let's talk about KD's former team, the Warriors, and what moves they're going to be making, because we've had stories come out today that one, Bradley Beal has requested a trade, or is going to request a trade, and that the Warriors want a Beal type player, if not Bradley Beal. How do y'all feel about that, though?
Actually, I'll let Terry go.
All right, I was about to say, like, my one thing with that is just like, if the Warriors want a Beal type player, I don't know like too much about basketball where I can break down play types, but like,
bro, if you were building like a 2K roster, would you want Bradley Beal on your Warriors roster?
Yeah, obviously, but I'm just thinking like, what would they do with Clay if they want a Beal type player? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they banking that Clay are they banking that Clay's gonna get hurt again, or are they like, okay, we'll probably put Clay at like the 3, maybe move Wiggins to 4 and kind of go small ball type shit. That's where I'm like questioning like, what's the Warriors'
I'm not sure if they're
plan?
giving up Draymond though. I think they would.
That's true, but then they could move Draymond to a small ball 5 if they so wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's where I'm having trouble, because like if they want a Beal type player, Beal's a 2 guard. What's the plan with the lineup going forward from that? That's my only thing about that, and that's why I definitely want to hear from like a person who's more in depth into basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right,
I'm interested.
All right, Michael. Before I go,
I'd say that like the Warriors. We'll talk about Beal in a little bit too, but the Warriors, in my opinion, amongst the teams that are either his landing spots or interested, I think the Warriors are probably third in landing. Besides 2 teams, I'll say those 2 teams now, Boston and Miami, because like we said, I think they can move Clay to guard the 3, and Clay can move around. It really, they'll move around and have Clay guard really whoever they need him to be. Because if I'm the NBA defenses have definitely evolved to the point where like whoever their best player needs to guard. Like they'll be able to guard. He'll be able to guard him. And Bradley Beal is a solid, good enough defender to where he'll be able to definitely guard anybody at the 2, in my opinion. But I feel as if he'll be a great addition to it. Maybe the only problem is maybe contracts, but they were able to move around that. And I feel Bradley Beal's play style could actually, well, obviously, could really affect or really help them because the Warriors were thinking about or in contention for Ben Simmons. They thought Ben Simmons could be a good addition, but the Sixers want an all-star player for Ben Simmons. And I'm sure the Warriors looked around their room and said, who's going to give up an all-star player for Ben Simmons? They backed out, as a smart team really should at this point, because I don't think they have really a good enough plan for Ben to give up an all-star player. And I I feel as if Bradley Beal just slots in right in there. He can attack the hoop really well. I feel as if with Bradley Beal holding the rock, Clay being able to stand anywhere on the court and shoot threes, and Curry's a constant movement, I feel as if that could be really well. It's just that once again, small ball and how good defensively they could be against like teams like the Bucks, who are just massive. Because like they probably will be playing small ball. Would they be able to get a center? Maybe that's like really good and can help them out like that and keep
You mean
Draymond
James
at the
Wiseman?
four. That's true. That's true.
That's been
Yeah, because like that's what Terry said. He said Draymond at the five. I'm like, whoa, nah. They not moving Draymond. They put in Wiseman at the five, and Draymond's playing the four.
sense.
But
That's
at
true.
the same time, their lineup is still pretty small, especially if you're gonna add
Yeah.
Bradley Beal to the mix. So my only problem is that it like seems that no matter how far they get into the playoffs, they're gonna most likely be in a shootout most of the times. And I mean, for the beginning parts of the playoffs and for the regular season, they're probably going to win like almost every single one of those shootouts. But when it comes out like to the conference finals and the finals, like in a 7-game series, they're really going to have to rely on their shooting because
I
like a
think
Bucks team or anything, like they're just going to be able to attack the paint all day.
I think a deadly option here is let's Wiggins against like secondary players would be good, but an idea could be at least at the start test it out because maybe you want to edge Clay back into the game, but have Clay come off the bench with the secondary players, and Clay could provide a massive spark really with by himself off the bench. Like
I
even
mean,
in
they
playoff
probably do this.
situations, like I feel as if third quarter, game six Clay, mass Clay, like show out all the time. I feel as if Clay can definitely do well definitely against second string or secondary players. Really not only provide a spark even, but just keep a lead. Like maybe they'll be up by like 6. Clay and the bench unit comes in, and then maybe they'll be up by like 7 or 8. He would keep the lead or keep the runs to a minimum, go on runs by himself. Maybe that'll be able to help them out by having Clay be like a 6 man.
Keeps him healthy too.
Yeah, it keeps him healthy.
Yeah.
And I personally think that like the way that the league is set up now, for someone like a Clay, it's really not a bad thing, especially if he comes off the bench, can serve his legs, and he's a shooter. And like, that's really what the league is made for now, shooters. Because if you're a slasher like a Giannis, it's really taxing on your body to be like how he was dominant, but I'm pretty sure it was very taxing on that man's body.
He's gonna need every bit of rest.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like fucking 60-point Clay, like bro, if Clay can come back to doing like 13 dribbles throughout the entirety of a game and drop 60, he's going to be fine for many years to come. You don't need athleticism to shoot. I will continue to say that. Like if you have an X factor like a Clay, it's crazy.
Yeah, Clay can just spot up, shoot. He's a great he can shoot from the mid range. And maybe I understand. Maybe you start Clay in games where like, all right, you know that you need a good defender because Clay is a fantastic defender. But obviously, to ease him in first, I feel as if like if they do have Bradley Beal, he'd be like that 6 man. And then against certain games, yeah, you have him play against like um play perimeter defense against like people like Luca or like any of them because he probably would do really well because he was always a really good perimeter defensive player.
Yeah. I feel like
And
Clay is definitely like when you're in the playoffs, like like you put him as a matchup against like one of their good offensive players. That's really
yeah,
what Clay's job always been. That defense on Kyrie was elite, no cap.
it was. But speaking of guards and sweepstakes, we just mentioned Bradley Beal to go to the Warriors, and I already mentioned. Boston, Miami, Golden State, and Philly. And with those 4 teams, where do you think Bradley Beal would best play? Where do you think he should go for like maybe like the best management? And what other team outside of those 4 do you think would also be a really good place for Bradley Beal to go to?
See, I can't say Boston for sure because they already have Jaylen Brown. Boston, I don't really know what Boston needs. I feel like they just need just a better guard. Nah, we saw you. You're on live.
Nah, don't go nowhere, man. Nah.
4K.
Continue. Shit happened.
Nah. We heard what happened. No, don't worry.
We heard you, bro. We heard you
bro.
loud and clear, bro. These studio
I'm
headphones.
fighting for my life, bro. I can't do nothing about that.
Oh my god, bro. But yeah.
I'm sitting here like, am I ascending or something? Like, God.
But yeah, nah, Bradley Beal on Boston, not really. I feel like they need to just acquire like a big man or a point guard more than a 2 guard. Miami, possibly, but they already have like Jimmy and they have some small players already. I feel like they also need to work on like a 4 or a 5 to really help them defensively because Bam just on his own, while he can do it now, at some point it's going to be just too taxing on his body and he's going to start getting sluggish late in games and yada, yada, yada. And then the 76ers, I mean, I guess, but if I'm Bradley Beal, I don't trust the 76ers at all. If you got Ben Simmons on your roster at all, bro, if they're paying Ben Simmons to be there, I'm not there until that man can shoot the ball. So it's his choices. Bradley Beal is obviously probably seeing something that, you know, the normal basketball viewer or casual can't see, and like the potential of what he can bring to one of the teams. But from my point of view, it almost seems like the Warriors are one of, if not the best option.
Terry?
Damian Lillard. What were the team's options again?
So at least this is what reports are saying are the teams that either he wants to go to or most likely to get him or are in the contention already are Boston, Miami, Philly, and Golden State. With Boston at the moment being the front runner, it seems as if because of his friendship with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Boston, are you sure?
Dang.
It seems that's what the reports are saying. It seems if Boston are, well, that's at the moment. It's
like,
just
do we know something that like, or does he know something that we don't know? Like, is there another player trading there? Or like they're making like more moves? Like it has to be chess. Like, there's just no way that it's a simple checker move. Like just Bradley Beal, Boston, because that just makes no sense.
It seems that right now Bradley Beal, that's the preferred place because he wants to play with Jason Tatum, but that doesn't mean it's the best place. There is a difference, obviously.
Yeah.
So while it's
I thought we were talking about Lillard. Hold on, we're talking about Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley
Beal. Yeah, Bradley Beal.
Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
Because like, where does Jaylen Brown go? I mean, I guess they're trading
saying.
him for Jaylen Brown.
That
would make sense.
Then they lose out on some defense. So that's what's kind of
weird. Like Jaylen Brown's good. Like I don't know.
And you don't trade Tatum; he's untouchable.
Boston's situation right now is very tough. We could even get into a whole segment on that, but like it seems if they've hit a ceiling. See, Boston don't even know how far, and it seems if they want to break out of that ceiling, and in most eyes, the best way to break out of it is into bringing a new player. So maybe trading one of these guys for Bradley Beal could really be like a massive help because right now we all know who everyone's chasing. It's the Bucks. And with all due respect, there aren't that much big men left in the league that can make a very significant impact like that. So it's either you make impacts maybe at your guards or you already have like a good enough set and you bring in like a big man to like really like maybe push you over the edge. But there isn't like that much that's like out there really that can like really make like a massive impact, especially immediately.
So we got Heat, Boston. What are the other two teams?
Heat, Boston, Golden State, and Sixers.
Yeah.
This is what I think Bradley Beal should go. It's Miami. You know what I'm saying? Add another prolific scorer to that team. That's already a good solid base. Keep Hero
Yeah,
on
they
the
have a
bench.
good
So
system. Like
you feel me?
Bradley
They have
Beal
a
would
good
definitely
system.
help them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They have a good system. You can keep Hero on the bench so you don't have to expose him as much because sometimes he's a little inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the best spot for him is Miami. The most likely spot, to be honest, bro. I think the Sixers are desperate, so they're gonna try to collect as much star power as they are because they wanted James Harden for fuck's sake. So shit, I would not be surprised if the Sixers pulled that trigger. So like,
Bro,
most likely
honestly,
the Sixers.
if James Harden wasn't on the Nets and he was on the 76ers, it would have been better.
Yeah, it gives them a ball handler that's not Ben Simmons.
Yeah, we would have had someone who could hit free throws, but
Yeah.
then like we would have probably had the same thing where like Joel Embiid's probably mad at his guard for folding in the playoffs. But anyway,
But it does make a nice pick and roll option with Ben Simmons being, you know, screen and roll guy instead of him being the handler because like we know where you're going, Ben. But like
bro,
if he's just
Ben on the bench, coming off like the bench with the second unit, and then
it was
Embiid and James Harden.
It was clear
Or they
that
would
like,
have to trade Ben Simmons or put him on the bench.
Ben Simmons would have to be traded for Sixers to get him. That was like the talks that was in.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons
and I would have done it.
I would have fucking done it, to be honest with you.
Like,
because I'm giving Embiid the ball in the clutch. James, you're not touching that shit in the clutch. Fuck you think this shit is, bro?
Floor in the clutch.
You're getting dimes during the regular, like the part of the game, and then when it comes to clutch, you better give it to Seth Curry or Embiid, nigga.
Right.
We not playing.
Because you're not that guy. You're not that
never
guy.
been that guy.
Imagine Harden have to default to a Curry in clutch time. Curry's still getting to him, but yeah. Bradley Beal, in my opinion, obviously I'm a Heat fan, so I obviously want Bradley Beal, but to me, it makes the most sense because a trade for Bradley Beal, Victor Oladipo, obviously with more pieces on top for Miami, or mine would give up more pieces. But I think a trade like that would benefit the Heat and maybe not so much the Wizards because now you have someone who's a little bit injury prone, a little bit, quite injury prone with Oladipo. But in Miami case, it makes a lot more sense because while maybe you do lose some things with defense with Victor Oladipo gone, I think the improvements on offense would be drastic. You get like another primary ball handler, and you're able to bring Tyler Hero and them off the bench. Most likely, you're trading either Kendrick Nunn or Tyler Hero for Bradley Beal to be on top of Victor Oladipo. So you're going to probably lose another small player, but to me, losing another small player isn't bad at all because Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hill, Duncan Robinson, they're all small and they can all be liabilities on defense. So being able to bring someone in like Bradley Beal and bring in maybe another player through free agency. There's so much going on in free agency. There's also reports that Kawhi Leonard honestly may want to leave the Clippers, and by may I mean he pretty much wants to leave the Clippers. It seems right now. We can get into that later possibly, but there's so many pieces that can move around. Right now, I feel as if at the moment the Sixers have the best shot because they're probably desperate and they probably want to make moves. And all-star for all-star, hey guys, they're way better. But I feel as if the teams that would make the most sense. I feel as if the organization with the best would be the Heat. The team that would make the most sense maybe would be like the Heat or Golden State. But he has preferred place in Boston because he obviously wants to play with Jason Tatum. And that could be deadly.
It could. But going back to what you were saying about trading Victor Oladipo for Bradley Beal and like giving away some defense, honestly, I don't think you're taking that much of a hit defensively, and you're getting a lot of offense because since Victor Oladipo has been so injury prone, like he's obviously lost some athleticism. So I mean, his defense obviously won't be the exact same it used to be, but I mean, he's still a solid defender. But yeah, Bradley Beal can lock up when it comes to like crunch time as well. So
for sure. It's just that I do remember when Victor Oladipo first came here. Oh, that defense was so nice. Defense was elite. That first game he was there, that shit was clamps. But like also Bradley Beal can be a really, really good defender himself. And I don't think we're going to be losing that much. And we're gaining a lot on offense. I would really like that trade.
Thanks. This nigga Terry said clamp reddish.
Clamp reddish. God, those memes fucking murdered me.
Hey,
Bro.
bro.
How are we feeling about the Hawks for this next season, Cam?
Yeah,
Get Cam Reddish to play more. That's it. That's the key. Cam Reddish, clamp God Reddish. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like their lineup is honestly like they really do because their lineup seems a little too small in a sense because like you already have Trae Young at point guard and like just defensively they can't get a stop. They obviously can get a bucket in certain points. I'm not saying it's the best offense in the world, but their offense isn't bad. It's good. It's just defensively they're a liability, and they only have Clint Capella. That's their only center on their entire roster.
Yeah,
reserves include like they have no other centers. So.
You think they should make a move for Kawhi if he's leaving?
Ooh, Kawhi in Atlanta, that might be busted because, that's very busted because Kawhi
if I'm the Hawks, I'm going all in because I made it to the conference finals without him. Let me see a little something. You know what I mean?
Kawhi is like one of those players. Like, there's good defensive players in the league, but they're only good like on ball, like when they get put on the spot. But Kawhi is like one of those people that has the IQ to like switch. Like in a 7-game series, if he was on Atlanta, it would be an issue for a lot of the Eastern Conference because they wouldn't have to go for a second big man. Kawhi Leonard could just kind of switch with John Collins and be the power forward for a second. He's like, oh, you want to attack the paint? Rip, block. If he's like back to the same way he is after this knee injury, but
yeah,
Kawhi Leonard, and he's gonna get buckets in crunch time too.
Could be a solid pick.
And it's also good for the Clippers because Kawhi and Paul George. I mean, they're obviously two defensive monsters, 2A monsters, but they just don't fit. And I feel like it really is Paul George's team. Paul George clicks with that Clippers organization. I like the vibe that they were giving me in the playoffs. They didn't win it all, but I was happy to see that Paul George was finally getting comfortable in a playoff setting with a team. It was like, thank you. He just took Kawhi to go down.
What about the team with the new pandemic P, the Dallas Mavericks, and they're quote unquote second. They're supposed to be second option, the unicorn. Pretty much, you can say failing in the playoffs.
He's a unicorn, all right, because that nigga does not exist. That's it.
Honestly, if we're keeping it a stack, Dallas has been very disappointing with their pickups for Luka. They had Seth Curry, really good for like him and Tim Hardaway, but then they gave him away. And it's really just Tim Hardaway at this point. Like Finney Smith, I mean, he's good, but he's not over the top crazy. Like Dallas reminds me a lot of what Houston was. Like they have like James Harden, which is Luka, and then just these random pieces around him that like kind of complement him, but like in terms of winning it all, like it's not going to work. Kristaps is not getting it done, and then Boban Marjanovic is obviously not getting it done. I don't know what you think you're going to do with Boban Marjanovic.
I had the Mavericks as like a sleeper, not so much a sleeper like finals team, and that pick changed pretty much immediately when I saw that Porzingis just disappeared in the playoffs. It seemed as if. And I would even forget he was a part of the roster at times.
And it's not even his fault in a sense. It's just like he just doesn't fit because what they were doing in the playoffs was like, oh, Luka's going to be ISOing at like the top of the key. And Kristaps, if you're not in the pick and roll, we just need you to stand in the corner. And like, I mean, he can shoot the ball, but it's not good for Kristaps. Like if I was Kristaps, I'd be annoyed too. Like I would be running out because like that's just like your role isn't significant enough to really do much. Like the team isn't built well. It's not constructed well at all. Texas teams shaking my head. Do better.
Texas suffering.
What would y'all do without Coach Pop? Explain.
Texas might be up. Either is going to be up good or bad good. They go. It seems as if Texas University.
Texas gonna be down in pain.
Hey, now. Let's get some fairness. Texas A&M was thought to be a dead in the water team when they joined the SEC, and they've improved a lot since joining the SEC. When you join the SEC, more recruits would like to join you. You're, higher point in the nation. More teams. Not more teams, but like you face better competition. More players want to join your team. You get you're trained more to play against like top tier competition. So be able to like maybe beat teams that are quote unquote better or higher than you, but not really because you're normally up against like really good competition.
I'm not
Texas
sure
A&M did
about
a really good
Texas.
job enjoying it, but now UT Hook 'em is one of those teams where like they have a system. It's their year. They win 3 games. They're hot. They play actually a really, really good team. They probably lose, and they start losing against teams that they shouldn't be losing to in the first place. Then they get to the bowl game, dominate, and then the cycle continues. Um, I feel as if now if they truly do go to the SEC, and we're talking about football here, obviously. Um, we've swapped from basketball to football, but if they do join the SEC, playing football, the first maybe a year or two, yeah, they probably may get smacked around a bit, but eventually they will adjust and be able to. All right, this is the level of competition we're going to be playing against. We got recruits, and you can make some noise. Now, by making noise, I mean you can win maybe a conference here or there, and then get slapped in the SEC championship game, but noise nonetheless.
My problem is just that like moving from conference to conference, it's concerning because like if you can't run the Big 12 as big of a school as Texas is, running the SEC is not going to be a cakewalk. You feel me? Like
Oh,
you
of course.
you already struggled with the Big 12. You're the University of fucking Texas. The only school that's demolishing you in recruiting from that area is Oklahoma. So it's like you're still getting a solid amount of recruits. Yeah, you'll probably get a bit more recruits because you got the SEC tag on you. But I feel like it's just not enough because the core of Texas is just flawed. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's philosophy, game. I don't know what it is.
I'm one of the
Texas
staff
just
members. How do
doesn't.
I look?
Garbage. It's just Texas.
What's the difference?
Texas just doesn't. I just feel like Texas.
Some Texas are dumb.
Texas
is dumb. How do I look? Retarded. What's the difference?
I just feel like Texas needs a reset and a re-looking into what they're really about before they can have success just strolling to the SEC. Because if we're talking about recruits, going to the SEC, you're fighting Georgia now. You're fighting Bama. You're fighting all the big SEC schools. Bro. This should get different.
But I feel
it get real different.
It get real different in the Southeast.
This move to the SEC is like that sort of like look at yourself, rebuild type thing. Because now they know that all right, you don't got cake, you don't got cakewalks anymore. And here's the thing. So Texas would lose to someone like they would start off well, they maybe beat like a top 15 team, then they play like a top team for real, and they lose and they start losing afterwards a lot of games. Now then, if you go to the SEC, you ain't getting a lot of easy games like that.
You're not getting the gimmies anymore. You're getting Florida one week, Georgia the next.
With all like there's going to be times in the schedule where you do truly will go, and you still got to play Oklahoma because they are your rival. But you will have Oklahoma, then Auburn, then LSU, then Florida, then Bama. And it's going to be killer. But I feel as if that's what's going to make them better, because I feel as if them not having those kickbacks anymore and playing down to competition is going to make them better in the long run. Because I think the first season may not go the best way. They may get slaughtered depending on their schedule. They could get some SEC cakewalks, They could get Vanderbilt, could get maybe Missouri in a rebuild mode, Arkansas, have a couple good games, then probably play against like a big team and maybe lose, most likely lose. But I feel as if them just going against like, iron sharpens steel, sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. I mean, I feel as if, going against top teams, eventually the culture will change. They'll know that like, all right, ain't no cakewalks this is the season. And it's all about, for Texas, it's all about getting momentum. And then even if you lose a game early, you don't lose it. Because it seems as if once they lose a game, it seems as if all momentum drops and they just can't win.
You know what I think though? I have a sneaking suspicion. This might be the hottest, the stupidest take in the history of takes. I think if this move happens,
Texas take? Hold on.
No, I think if this happens and Oklahoma and Texas go to SEC, I think Oklahoma will actually struggle more than Texas will. Because hear me out though. SEC football, it's tough, gridiron. The best defenses are in the SEC. Oklahoma is an offensive juggernaut who played in a defensively non-existent conference, the Big 12. You move to a conference where a lot of big teams are built on defense. Like, yeah, we defend the football. That's what we do. And then, like, all the defensive recruits, because if you're a defensive recruit coming out of high school, you're not going to Oklahoma. You're going to go to Florida. You're going to go to Bama. You're going to go to Georgia, where they actually treat and develop defensive players. So it's like they're going to be strapped for defensive recruits because everyone is going to the other SEC schools. And, like, their offense won't be – their offense is not going to be – but it's not going to be like 13 points a game. But their offense is going to get dulled a little because now everybody else defends like mad. So I feel like even though Texas slander is hilarious and it's so funny, they're fucking mid. I feel like Oklahoma, they could obviously prove me wrong, but I feel like Oklahoma could actually struggle more in the SEC than Texas. That's how I'm feeling about that.
That could be a very true case. As now, there's been a shift in the SEC. It's clear that now the SEC has been shifting from dominant defenses to complete and utter firepower.
Ridiculous offenses.
Like we saw from the best team in the SEC usually has nowadays a ridiculous offense. Even Florida, who didn't have even the best of season last year, had a ridiculous offense. Now they are going through a transitional year, so they probably won't be as good as they were last year offensively. But they had a really good offense, and their offense still paled in comparison to Alabama's offense. And then even Alabama has an argument against are they even the best offense in the past 10 years? Because you still have that 2019 LSU team, which was just ridiculous on offense and defense.
But what's crazy though, they still, a lot of the SEC teams, especially with the up-ending firepower, they still keep that defense because we saw when LSU played Oklahoma. Remember that? They clapped Oklahoma. That offense was so lethal, right? They were held to, I don't even remember the point total. That's how low it was. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then again, you could say it's an anomaly because it's that LSU team, but still, like.
With respect to Oklahoma, they did beat Florida. Whether Florida wants to say they tried fully or not, they did end up beating them. Now, it is clear that Florida didn't really care that much. Well, in my opinion, it didn't seem like Florida cared that much. But I still hold Florida to responsibility to try and win a bowl game because it is a bowl game, and you should care more. But for sure, I do think Florida's defense was not really that great last year. It probably is going to improve this year. But I still feel as if the upper echelon teams will have really good defenses. Obviously, Alabama. I think LSU's defense is going to be really good, especially since Derek Stingley will be leading them this year. Don't know who Derek Stingley is. Just think of Deion Sanders, but light skin.
We call him the Deion shit. That's a big one.
I know it's a big one, but we've been already making the comparison since he was a freshman. That was like what 2-3 years ago.
His freshman man. Shit.
And especially now that he's back in form, healthy, unlike last year, and seems if he's gonna be having quite a bit of help on LSU back again. Yeah, LSU seems. I think LSU defensively will be really pretty much. I'll say good to really good. The ceiling is really good, but I think they're just good in general. And I do think it feels if Oklahoma depends on which conference they'll go to. Maybe they'll split them up, but like I feel as if like Oklahoma will be able to escape against maybe like a Florida team who doesn't have the best defense at the moment. Maybe their defense will improve, like a Tennessee team, Vanderbilt type teams. You know what I'm saying? But obviously now you go up against. When you start to go up against Auburn now and the game changes, or Auburn try and hit you with the ground attack a lot and then hit you with like play action, now the game changes, you know. So there's all types of things. I feel as if both teams will be ready because if they go to SEC, they'll feel as if it's a challenge because a lot of people will say, oh, they're not ready for the SEC. So they will want to play really well and they will try and do their best, and out the gate they'll show out. But in my opinion, the biggest thing isn't game one. It's about game 3 or 4 where you may lose that game. Now where do you go? Because now in the SEC, you lose a game. These teams are not just going to stop. You know, they're going to keep going. And now also you have the SEC. You have the SEC advantage now where you can lose a game, but you lost to an SEC team. So your ranking doesn't drop too low. It's an SEC team. You know, and usually you lead with the committee or with the AP. losing to an SEC team is not as bad as losing to like a Big 10 or 12 team that like isn't Oklahoma.
Especially if you lose a Pac-12 team. Oh God.
Okay. Losing Pac-12 teams, I don't know what to tell you.
If you losing the Pac-12 teams, go to the Pac-12. You're
No
garbage.
disrespect to Pac-12 teams, but you gotta do better. But now a shift into it now that we're talking about Texas joining the SEC is now other teams joining different conferences and the conference shakeup. We do have the ACC trying to maybe make a quick move into maybe snatch Texas and Oklahoma. Not only that, we still have Notre Dame who wants to join a conference. Maybe not wants to, but they should. Like Christ's sake, they should.
Please join Notre Dame. Jesus Christ.
Like you have teams like UCF, teams are not quote unquote Power 5. But I still think are good and maybe should join a Power 5. Even though maybe they want to break that narrative, I still think you should join. Maybe make it like super conferences more so that you don't really have those outliers out there. What do you think? Maybe some teams coming in joining conferences. Who do you think should go to where and
Definitely. In terms of where, I just feel like keep it as geographical as possible. It's pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're UCF, join the ACC. It's not too hard. If you're Notre Dame, just get in the fucking conference, bro. I don't care where. Just get in the Power 5, please. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the schools should want to too, because like especially from UCF, like perspective of going to the schools, like beating down garbage teams. Yeah, that's fun and all. Like your record looks nice, but then when you play a team like Cincinnati, you get folded. You play BYU, you get folded. That's embarrassing. So if I'm the president of the school, I'm looking at trying to get into a big conference so I can sharpen out the fucking program and bringing in more revenue. Because like you go to these bigger conferences, you're getting TV time now. You're getting way more TV time, way more notoriety. And bro, and if you actually succeed up there, you're swimming in cash. So it's like, okay,
and you're bringing in more recruitment.
Why not? Definitely the drawback would be, oh yeah, you're gonna get fucked, obviously, with the bigger offices. But fuck it. If you want to make more money in the long run, I feel as though you gotta pull the trigger.
I feel as if teams like UCF and Cincinnati are in the American Conference. I feel as if one of them leaves, the other one will probably leave as well too. They're either the same conference or the similar conference. Because while like those two teams are really good and they obviously the games against each other show out, they sort of rely on each other doing well, because if one of them doesn't do well and they beat the other team, then it's like you don't go too high in the rankings. So I feel as if a move to like in ACC, where it's like, all right, ACC isn't particularly that strong, really isn't, but you move there, you do well, you play against good teams, you maybe beat each other, and then now you're worried about, all right, now we got to worry about like a North Carolina, Miami, especially Clemson. But you hold those teams, or maybe you avoid Clemson. You only play against North Carolina or Miami, or like another, like maybe like a Virginia if they're high. You beat them, you're in a much better contention of being in the playoffs. They don't expand it to like 8 or 12 teams like this next year. And I feel as if that's going to be a really good move. But I feel if Texas and Oklahoma truly does join the ACC, I truly do feel teams will now start moving, because I think the Big 12 had like a pact that they said, oh, we're in this together, we're not going to break it. And within about 8 hours or so, the pact was broken, and all of the teams in the Big 12 are like looking and talking to other conferences to see if they can join other conferences. So it could be a massive change up, be a massive difference, but this is what makes college football really entertaining, if I'm being honest. If you're on the outside looking in, maybe you're like English or another different country, you think, well, how is it exciting with no division system? Nah, this is pretty exciting. The conferences are really exciting. Teams come and go, and this could be a massive shakeup this coming year.
You know, it would be kind of cool too, like if they did like a Power 5 conference ranking. You know what I'm saying? Like you rank the teams and you rank the conferences, and like once you add the conference ranking type thing, like you can have this relegation sort of shit. So like the worst team from each conference will kind of just slide down in each ranking until you get to like, for example, I'm not slandering, but like you got the Pac-12 at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? And then like if you're a team that just keeps sliding, eventually all the worst teams are in the Pac-12. It would suck for fucking ratings though. Like that would definitely suck for ratings because no one's gonna watch the bottom conference. But I definitely it would be kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? Because like if all your fucking good shit is in the SEC, you make even more money if you're the. I know the top conferences want to do it, but the bottom conferences definitely wouldn't. They definitely wouldn't want to do some shit like that. So it's like I'm not saying they should, but it would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Like the division system, like if you're really bad, you eventually maybe get kicked out, replaced with somebody else.
Yeah, like a relegation system.
Yeah, I see it. It's just that like with schools,
Yeah, with schools.
it's not just like the conferences maybe for it. Like maybe it can actually bring in more money because now it brings it more entertaining. Because can you imagine televised regulation games? That should probably make a lot of money. People watching to see who's gonna go down and who doesn't. Or the final day of college football would be really packed. They'd probably take over all of ESPN and ABC more than how they usually do. But I talked about the conferences before. I think schools will definitely be opposed to it, especially schools who know they don't have the programs like that to keep up, especially with lower schools who actually do have surprisingly good conference or surprisingly good teams on them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's a system. It's a system that we're still trying to perfect. The NCAA, there's a lot of problems with the NCAA. We've been working on it. They have been corrupt, but if we're talking about corrupted organizations, we can talk about UEFA, and we can talk about what's going on here in the Premier League and just overall in football in general. Now we move out from American football to the world football. How you doing, Brits? I know that Euro's hurt.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. Like this entire summer, like we've all just been, especially more Terry, like just introduced back into the football world. Like just we didn't watch any like soccer.
Dude, hadn't watched soccer in
Euros years. One of the few people in this group that truly was keeping up because I'm a Manchester City fan. I'm not plastic for you last time. Don't even bother asking. But yeah, I'm a Manchester City fan. Follow the team. I follow football, but I have definitely been following it way more because now the whole group is following it, and now we're big into football and
man, forgot how much I love the damn sport.
Playing pro clubs now is FIFA 21 all day.
Oh
bro,
yeah,
just the sport's just amazing.
Football been heat, but maybe not so heat right now is the situation between Barcelona and Real Madrid. We'll get Real Madrid in a little bit, but Barcelona got to make some moves right now. They are, I think, still $200 million in debt and still need to make moves for players out. Now it seems that Griezmann, they're trying to deal Griezmann out. There was allegedly a swap deal being done between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, which is the third best team in their league, La Liga. And
they did win it. Shit, there's a debate. They didn't win it.
Well, like in terms of like commercial success, they're third, but they
in terms of like history,
So they are league champions. Barcelona's $200 million in debt. And for people asking, what's that in basketball terms? They said the Lakers are $200 million down in the cap space. They need to make room, and they need to do it now. And I'm sure everyone knows a player named Lionel Messi. Messi surprisingly is going to be taking like a massive pay cut. I think he's taking like 50% off to sign there. But they still need to make moves. They still need to get rid of other players. They have an elite striker named Antoine Griezmann. If you're French, you definitely heard of him.
Greasy Griezmann.
Yeah,
Griezmann. What a guy.
It seems as if he might be going either back to Atletico, his former club, which, for everyone who's wondering, this would be huge because Griezmann sort of did a LeBron-type decision where, like, he left the club and he made like a big like fiasco about it. It was like a huge announcement, blah 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 blah. They may feel burned about it, but this could be like a LeBron type thing where he's going back to Cleveland. But unfortunately, going back to Atletico, they've already won a championship, so he's not like he'll be returning back to a team that desperately needs him. So that's where that's interesting at. You also have what's going on with Real Madrid. I don't care if you are not into football, if you think it's boring, you need to read up on what's going on with Real Madrid. Because if you just like drama, you're going to get a kick out of this. Real Madrid's president has been getting his shit leaked. And it's not like, oh, you need a sex tape? Nah. Yeah.
He's been talking shit, ain't he?
He's been talking mad shit.
Yeah.
you probably know about Messi, but you know about his main rival, the Vegeta to Goku, Cristiano Ronaldo.
The GOAT.
Ronaldo, as Wilson says, in some eyes is the GOAT, and in some eyes is the second best. But Messi and Ronaldo are heated rivals.
60-40 split on that one. Listen, the Vegeta, the
Whoa,
Goku.
Whoa. You mean 59 or not 59.
You mean 51-49?
Yeah, 51-49. I know math. Hold on.
Hey.
No, you don't.
Goku and Vegeta right now, if you know about it, are 51-49 at the moment.
I'd hope. But when most niggas hear that, they like, damn. Ronaldo kind of.
Hey, relax.
It's okay that Messi's 49. It's okay. You feel me?
It's okay.
You can probably guess who's a Ronaldo fan in this one. But yeah, Ronaldo. So back when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid, he's no longer there. The president called him an idiot, which I'm pretty sure you don't want to call your best player ever. I don't care who you think you are. You ain't that guy.
He's the best Real Madrid player ever. Put the fucking jersey on, I swear.
Yeah.
And another big thing, I want anyone to really just if you're not caught up on football, if you want to get caught up in football, this is just hilarious. So this is a player named Mesut Ozil. And he played for Real Madrid for a time. He is German. He currently plays for Arsenal. I'm so sorry for him. But he at Real Madrid, he had a girlfriend, came to Real Madrid, ditched his girlfriend, I guess, for a model. Turns out that model was getting her shit plowed by both AC and Inter Milan, two Italian teams, told by his coach about it, and had to continue life knowing that. So if you want to read more about it, I promise you should. Real Madrid in some shit. But they're probably going to get bailed out because they have a shit ton of money, and they're the capital of Spain. I suggest anybody for you to just go into Barcelona versus Real Madrid. I don't care who you is. You think football is boring or not. Don't care. It's a heated ass rivalry. It's like Lakers Celtics, just like on steroids, because European football fans are just warriors. Like it's insane.
Right. If you're an American and you shit on like soccer or whatever, like go somewhere, my nigga, because like soccer is like there's levels to sports in the world, and soccer's at the top. It's number one. Like countries kill like goalkeepers for letting in
countries kill refs, my nigga.
Yeah,
for
like
fucking,
that's
but like it's weird to me because like a lot of people in the States call soccer boring, but will avidly defend baseball. And I'm not about to sit here and call baseball boring, but you have to keep it consistent.
Right.
You have a sport that a lot of people will call boring, so you can't go and attack other people when you're in your back pocket you have baseball. Come on, bro. Let's keep it a stack. So it's either you don't slander anything or you slander baseball too. Like you have to acknowledge what baseball is. It's harder to get into than soccer, and soccer, I argue, has higher peaks than baseball does. You know what I'm saying? Specific notation, bro. I'm like, what type of stats are these, bro? What the fuck is that? What are you saying to me, bro?
Right. It's wild.
Yeah, but I bet like baseball is still like I would rather play it than watch it. You feel me? Like
yes.
Yes. Like I'd rather be
absolutely
out there
facts.
talking to niggas at the bases and shit.
Yeah, that's definitely facts. But watching baseball, shit, man.
And like I don't have any like emotional connection to any of the players, so it's just like I'm just watching random niggas on the field. It's like, And I mean, you can say the same thing for soccer, but like I don't know. I like to move it. 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 I like to move it.
I feel as if there's a difference between like the MLS and MLB. Like you can't say like, oh, you gotta watch. I watch the MLS and it's boring. Like you gotta watch like top level. Like watching the MLS is like, all right, you compare the MLS to like college baseball. If I'm being honest, like if you're gonna watch the MLB, you have to compare it to like English Premier League football or Spain League of football. Like you have to compare the best with the best. And in my opinion, just pure watching, I can get more out of football or soccer than I can with baseball because the fan interactions are honestly way better in football / soccer than they are in baseball. So I'm just being honest.
Yeah. I'll still fuck up an MLS game. MLS sometimes it be
MLS can get
interesting.
lit sometimes.
Yeah.
It can get lit sometimes.
They be hitting some
But then,
crazy long shots sometimes, bro. And like if like a retiring like player from like Europe or really just Europe will come over to the MLS, like that's amazing to watch. When Ibra came,
MLS, the defenses are shit. If I'm being honest,
when Ibra
but
came,
like,
bro,
there's a certain entertainment level to it.
Yeah.
At the same time,
It's kind of like the big three. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of all the veterans just kind of go there. It's just like, you know, let's just play this. That's fine. No stakes. Just
when you got a big name, it's just revenue.
yeah.
We can talk about freaking Blueface versus the TikToker, man. Like just big names.
I didn't even watch that, but I heard it was pretty.
Bro, well, apparently Blueface, like he won, like he was like knocking this dude like almost out unconscious, and then the ref called it, and then and then a fan came into the ring, and then I guess he like talked shit to Blueface, and then punched Blueface, and then Blueface just said beam, like you just gave him like a 3-piece combo in the ring, man. Like they were like trying to break it up, and he was like chasing him out the ring. It's like it's entertaining, but at the same time, it's like what happened to boxing? Like boxing used to be put on this pedestal, like it's impossible to get into. Like if you're a boxer, like you just have the utmost respect. Like I can't believe you're putting your life on the line to do that sport. But just now anyone can do it. People are selling out arenas. Just like TikTokers are selling out arenas. Boxing. It's like
crazy. I ain't gonna lie, boxing did it to themselves for being so exclusive for so long. If I'm being honest, they should have done a better job.
Yeah.
Loki did it for themselves.
Yeah, Dana White, bro, you hear that? You better relax before they start an Ultimate YouTuber Fighting Championship.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. MMA YouTube versus that would be so dead.
Niggas, bro, it would be so ugly, bro.
It would be ugly, but it would get peas.
It would get peas.
I think it'll be way better boxing because boxing it's a little bit more funny because when the people suck in MMA, it's honestly bad. Like it's tough to watch. I think with boxing when people suck, you can still get a lot of good moments out of it. If you have like Snoop Dogg commenting over shit, he's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be interesting.
When we saw CM Punk get into the UFC ring, that was tough. That was tough, bro. Bro, Terry, man.
Don't slander a CM Punk fan. It was tough.
I'm a CM Punk fan. I used to love that nigga on WOWL, yeah. Nah, WWE. That man CM Punk. Nah, it was because I didn't feel like finishing it. But CM Punk in the WWE, he was that nigga, bro. That nigga was high flying, bro. He was like Jeff Hardy, like just newer. Like it was.
I think he was sort of like Jeff Hardy, but not fully. You know, Jeff Hardy and John Cena are actually back. John Cena came back like really recently to WWE. That's shit wild.
But
and the boys got Edge. I might check that bit out. I watched that bit a lot more. Except Mondays. That Monday show they got is garbage. I tried it
by name.
Hours.
Nigga would even say by name.
That Monday show dead.
That Monday show over there. Cause
anything that has to do with wrestling on a Monday, don't tune in.
Dead. I think it's actually live though. No lie.
All right.
No lie. It's pretty live.
I mean, that's our childhood right there. If I'm keeping it a stack.
If you're going to cap and say you ain't watched WWE growing up as a guy, you're capping. You knew that. You know you did. You know who. If I say any of them boys, you know who they are. Quit capping.
Facts.
Stop the cap.
And after a while, we all like kind of realized that it was fake, but we still kept watching for a little while longer because it was just like, a little while. That was our shit.
It's a little bit.
No, it was entertaining. And then when it stopped being entertaining, niggas stopped watching. But now if they back being entertaining, then hey, I'm not watching entertainment.
Shit, I don't got shit else to do. Shit.
I guess that's the podcast episode, y'all boys. Shit.
Yeah.
Any recommendations for the week? Anything that you've been sitting on? Like, damn, like I wish I could tell more people about this.
As an anime. As an anime fan, I haven't seen anything my anime today, but watch Nagatoro. If you want like a nice slice of life,
it is so nice. That show is so fucking nice, bro.
Like this isn't even a recommendation anymore. I am telling you.
Watch.
Hey, yo, nigga.
bro.
like this,
but I'm not playing.
This is like on like One Piece type shit. Like I got the snipers at your house. The United States. Ain't that many people watch your videos, bro.
Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro is so nice, bro.
I tell you, bro, it's so wholesome, bro. You gonna really mess with it. Check that out. You know what I'm saying?
It's just nice, bro. Damn, my recommendation. I'm sitting on 2. Oh my god. Okay. Once I say this, the floodgates are gonna open on my. I know he's gonna watch too. The first one though. I ain't gonna break nothing down because I swear.
We already know.
The first one, you gotta watch Jojo's, bro. Oh my god.
There's another Jojo, nigga, bro.
Oh my god.
I've been converted, bro. Parts 1 and 2, man, they hurt. But the parts 3, 4, and 5, bro, are peak. They're peak, bro. They are peak showing. The hype moments in that show are unrivaled. It is so hype. Jojo's, bro. You gotta watch it. Second one, it's this one Michael put me on. Great Pretender, different.
Facts. This one, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I don't care if you don't watch anime, bro. If you like Ocean 11, if you like any show that's like not just like maybe like mystery, but like just heist type shit, heist, bank robbing, scamming type anime type show, you're gonna love Great Pretender. Ocean 11, you're gonna love Great Pretender. Trust me, it's great. If you know different languages, you're gonna love it.
My alley.
Literally, Great Pretender. It's literally, bro. This is the quickest plot I'm ever gonna explain in my life, bro. It's obviously much deeper than that, but it's this not even just that's it, bro. That's it. That's all. That's it. And it is so fucking gas, bro.
Not even just a group, bro. This is just niggas.
It's just scammers, bro. And bro, they rob niggas blind, and it is the most crafty shit ever, bro.
That's it, bro. Now all we gonna tell them, you gonna have to watch it to find out more. When I tell you this shit,
so good.
We dropping gems on the 4 a.m. podcast today.
It's so good.
It's great.
It's on Netflix, bro. Oh, you can find it on your other sites too, but it's primarily on Netflix. I know most of you fuckers have Netflix, so go, bro.
Yeah, nigga.
But bro, it is so. Watch
Great
Pretender, peak.
Watch Jojo's, watch Nagatoro, watch Great Pretender. In my opinion, though, watch Nagatoro and Great Pretender first, because Jojo's, that's a bit of an adventure.
You have to work your way.
That's a couple hundred episodes plus.
At least part 1 and 2 are like kind of short.
Yeah, part 1 and 2. So like, yeah, the best part of JoJo's are the longest part. So that's definitely what's fire. Like JoJo's is the literal opposite of a show like Boruto. You know what I'm saying? Like the longest part are the best part for JoJo, but for Boruto, the longest part's the mid part.
Don't watch that. Still somehow got Boruto slander in here. Crazy.
You had to fit it in there.
It's my job.
But now that the weebs are done talking, let me give my.
You know you don't recommend One Piece. Shut the fuck up, dumbass. No, shut the fuck up, nigga.
Bro, I'm not even recommending anime, bro. All right. Okay. My recommendation: tune into the Olympics, bro. Sports, bro. Get active. Do something, bro. We're in the prime months of the year where you can actually go outside, breathe air, not be a keyboard warrior. Hold on. Oh my God, they talked about my pronouns. Okay, I'll stop before I trigger somebody. But for real though, like, just enjoy life, bro. Enjoy the Olympics. Get into a new sport. Maybe get into one of the shows they mentioned. And remember to just take it easy. There's only one life. Live it to the fullest. Feel me?
Y'all boys stay blessed. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all boys stay blessed.
That was episode 10 too. That's a little anniversary.